Hi everyone, I'm Rivka Lambert-Adler. I'm the editor of this book, 10 from the Nations, Torah Awakening Among Non-Jews, and also the director of Torah School for the Nations. And this gives me an opportunity actually to tell you that we've just announced the Shavuot 2018 in-person Torah School for the Nations sessions. You can find out all the details at 10fromthenations.com, 10, T-E-N, 10fromthenations.com. I hope you'll go there and check it out. Today's video is actually about the names of God. And this is another video from Torah School for the Nations to help people who aren't able to come to Israel to learn a little bit of Torah from the land of Israel. So let's talk about the names of God. These are the names of God that Jewish people commonly use. So there are two names that we use very commonly in prayer. I will say those names, although I say it with some trepidation because they're not names that we actually use conversationally, but for the purposes of instruction, it's important. One of them is Adonai, which is actually spelled in Hebrew, Yud, Hey, and then Vav and Hey. But when Jewish people are referring to that name, unless they're writing a Torah scroll or something, we would say actually Yud K Vav K in order to avoid saying the name that is spelled as I just spelled it because of the holiness of the name, intrinsic in the name. There's another name that appears very commonly in the Bible, another name for God, and that is Elohim. But Jews don't actually refer to that, again, except for in prayer and study. What we would say instead is Elohim, again, replacing sort of the H sound with a K sound, or the Hey in Hebrew with a Kuf. In Hebrew. But those are not the only names that Jews use for God. Jews use the name Hakadosh Baruch Hu, for example, the Holy One, blessed be He. That is sometimes something that you will hear Jews say conversationally. Or Borei Olam, the creator of the world. Rabbono Shel Olam, the master of the world. Those are commonly used names. There's another one, Hamakom. Hamakom literally means the place. And since God is the place, like there is nothing, there is no other place except for God. So Hamakom is one of the ways that we refer to God. It's used most commonly actually in a verse that we say when we are comforting someone who suffered from a loss. And we ask Hamakom to bring comfort to that person, that God as the place of the whole world should bring comfort to that person. There is also, of course, the 72-letter ineffable name of God, the Shem HaMeforesh, which we never say. In fact, most people don't even know what it is. It's so holy and so elevated, the personal name of God, that I can speak about it, but I have no idea actually what it is. So that is one of the other names of God that exists in our tradition. I'll just end with this idea that there are certain names that I have heard Torah-aware non-Jews use for God that actually Jewish people don't use, or I've never heard a Jewish person use these names to refer to God. One that I very commonly hear is Abba, which of course is the Hebrew word that means father. When we say Abba, either we're referring to our own father, like our flesh and blood actual father, or Abba is also a man's name in Hebrew, so there are some men whose name is Abba, so we might call him that. We would never call God the Father. Both Abba and the Father are, to a Jewish ear, implying that there is a son, a godly son, and that of course is not our theology. We do, however, use the word sometimes in prayer, particularly Avinu Sheba Shamayim, our Father who is in heaven, or Avinu Malkeinu, our Father, our King. I have certainly heard those, but that's a little bit different. It's a different version of the Hebrew for Abba. We also, Jews don't use the word Jehovah and don't use the word Yahweh. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but I think you know what I mean. I've seen it abbreviated as YHWH. or sometimes just simply Yah. That's also not a name that Jews would use. Anyway, this was a quick overview just to introduce you to the fact that God has many names, many of which are used in the Jewish community for various reasons. I hope this was helpful to you, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Take care.